Let's talk about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta and if we actually have a season. If you enjoy hot topics and Real Housewives talk, be sure to follow me here and subscribe to my podcast, KEMPIRE Radio, link in bio. Atlanta is still a little dry. This episode, though, was a little bit better than the last few episodes. In this episode, we get to see Kandi sending Riley off to New York City. They're actually driving here to get her ready for her semester at NYU during a pandemic. I have to say, the most emotional part was sort of the flashback and how we've seen Riley grow up before our eyes on the show. And I have to say, she is probably very much like Meredith in Salt Lake City, where her son is her best asset on the show. Riley definitely is one of Kandi's best assets on the show. In this episode also, I noticed we don't get an episode of Drew, and I didn't miss her. What did you guys think? Did you miss Drew? I really didn't miss her or her toxic relationship. Part 2 of my thoughts on the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta and if we possibly have a season. If you enjoyed The Real Housewives, hot topics, and more, be sure to follow me here and subscribe to my podcast, KEMPIRE Radio, link in bio. So as I said in part 1 of my thoughts on the last episode of Atlanta, I really didn't miss Drew in this episode. She wasn't there, and we see a preview that she will be in the next episode, but I didn't miss her toxic relationship with Ralph. But what we did get is this weird relationship happening between LaToya and Kenya sending nudes to LaToya. I don't know if I believe that there is some sort of sexual energy between them. I do think Kenya likes LaToya. I didn't love LaToya this time around, especially when she arrived late for Cynthia's engagement party or whatever you wanted to call it. But I'm not going to even deny, even as a gay man, I was like, oh wow, Kenya looks great, even with her weight gain. What did you guys think? Let's talk about it in the comments. Part 3 of my thoughts on the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. If you enjoy The Real Housewives, hot topics, and more, be sure to follow me here and subscribe to my podcast, KEMPIRE Radio, link in bio. So in this latest episode, we get to see Kenya throw a beautiful engagement party for Cynthia. I have to say, it was a beautiful party, but everyone arriving late was so awkward and annoying to me. Someone that loves to surprise people, the fact that the surprise was spoiled because everyone arrived late was very annoying. And LaToya arriving almost an hour and a half late? What is that about? I was liking LaToya until then. Backtracking just a little bit, I did love the scene where Portia and her sister are sharing memories of her father because we don't really have that deep story about where Portia comes from. So this was kind of nice to see why she might be with someone like Dennis and her own struggles with relationships because of her relationship with her father. She looked good at Cynthia's